Have you ever wondered why some men don't even have to try hard? Yet women are naturally drawn to them, while others bend over backward, give everything and still get ignored. It's almost unfair, isn't it? The truth is, attraction doesn't always work the way we think it should. Sometimes, the very things that seem cold, distant, or even cruel are the things that make women lean in closer, wanting more. Now, before we dive deep, I want you to do 3 things for me. First, hit that subscribe button and join this community, because we're going to keep uncovering secrets about attraction and relationships that most men never learn. Second, drop a like on this video. It helps more people like you find this content. And third, make sure you watch until the very end, because what I'm about to share can truly change how women see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. So let's get into it. 5 things that may feel cruel, but they attract 99% of women. Number 1, not giving her all of your attention. Let me ask you something. Have you ever fallen for someone so deeply that the moment they texted you, your heart raced and you dropped everything just to reply? Maybe you remember those nights when you stayed up late, staring at your phone, waiting for her name to light up your screen. And when she finally replied, it felt like the whole world suddenly made sense again. But let me ask you another question. How did that story end? Did giving her your everything, your time, your energy, your attention, make her love you more? Or did it slowly push her away? Most men don't realize this. But when you make a woman the center of your world too soon, it doesn't feel romantic to her, it feels heavy. Instead of making her feel special, it makes her feel smothered. Think about it. Imagine you've just started dating someone. At first, every text feels exciting. Every call makes your stomach flutter. But then what happens when that person is available all the time? When they drop their friends, their hobbies, their goals, just to sit by the phone for you? It gets predictable. And predictability kills attraction. Now I want you to pause for a moment and remember your own love story. Maybe there was a girl you really liked, someone who felt almost out of your league. At first you played it cool, didn't you? You texted, but not constantly. You had your own things going on, and she felt excited just to get a little piece of your time. And wasn't that when she seemed the most interested? When she laughed harder at your jokes? When she leaned in closer, when she asked, "So, what are you doing tomorrow?" See, here's the truth most men never hear. When you don't give a woman all of your attention, it doesn't push her away, it actually pulls her in. Because now she's curious. She starts to wonder, what's going on in his life that's keeping him so focused? Why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? And curiosity is the seed of attraction. But I know what you might be thinking. If I don't show her how much I care, won't she lose interest? The opposite is true. Giving her space to miss you, to crave your attention, to wonder about you, that's what makes her invest in you emotionally. Remember this. Love isn't built by drowning someone in constant affection. Love grows in the spaces in between. It's in the waiting, in the wondering, in those little moments when she asks herself, why hasn't he texted me yet? That's when her feelings deepen. So if you want to attract her, don't hand over all of your attention on a silver platter. Protect it, value it, share it slowly. Because when your attention is rare, it becomes priceless. And women chase what they value. Number 2, setting boundaries without apology. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been in love with someone so much that you let things slide? Things that deep down you knew weren't okay? Maybe she canceled on you last minute. Maybe she talked down to you in front of her friends. Or maybe she kept pushing your limits. And you stayed silent because you didn't want to upset her. Be honest, didn't it feel easier to just smile and say, it's okay? I know why you did it. Because you cared. Because you thought being patient, being flexible, being endlessly forgiving would make her love you more. You thought she would see your kindness and appreciate it. But let me ask you, did it actually make her respect you more? Or did it make her take you for granted? See, here's the harsh truth most men don't want to hear. When you don't set boundaries, you're not protecting love, you're suffocating it. A woman can't truly be attracted to a man she doesn't respect. And respect is only born when you're brave enough to stand your ground. Let me tell you a little story. A friend of mine was dating this girl he was crazy about. She was stunning, magnetic, the kind of woman who could make every man in the room stare. But she had one bad habit. She would cancel their dates, sometimes just an hour before. And my friend, because he was afraid of losing her, always said, no problem, maybe next time. Weeks turned into months and she grew colder. He grew more desperate, until one day he snapped. Not in anger, not in drama. Calmly, he told her, "If you cancel on me again last minute, I won't make new plans with you." At first, she was shocked. She called him stubborn, even cruel. But do you know what happened next? She stopped canceling. She showed up on time. And strangely enough, her attraction to him grew. Why? Because women aren't drawn to men who bend endlessly. They're drawn to men who know what they deserve. Now I want you to think about your own love story. Maybe there was a time when you didn't say what you truly felt, when you swallowed your frustration because you didn't want to lose her. Did that bring her closer or did it push her away? Here's the secret. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They're doors that guide love in the right way. When you calmly say no to disrespect, when you refuse to apologize for expecting basic respect, you're telling her, "I value myself. And if you want to be with me, you must value me too." And that is magnetic. So don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid if she gets upset at first. Because deep down, a woman doesn't want a man she can control. She wants a man she can respect. And respect begins the moment you stop apologizing for having standards. Number 3, not explaining yourself. Let me ask you a real question. How many times have you found yourself justifying your choices to a woman you liked? Maybe you couldn't see her one evening because you were working late, or you wanted a night out with your friends, but instead of just saying it, you explained, and then explained more and more, almost as if you were standing in front of a judge trying to prove your innocence. Sound familiar? Now think back to how it felt. On the surface, you thought you were keeping her happy, proving you cared. But deep down, didn't it feel like you were giving away pieces of your power? Here's the truth most men don't realize. Over-explaining doesn't create trust, it creates weakness. Let me share a story. A man I knew was dating this incredible woman. She was fiery, confident, and a little demanding. One night he told her he couldn't meet because he had plans. She immediately pressed him. "What plans? With who? Why can't you just see me?" He panicked. He started explaining. "Oh, it's just a friend. Don't worry, nothing big. I'll be back early." The more he explained, the less she respected him. She didn't even believe his words, she just smelled his fear. Now compare that with another man I know. His girlfriend once asked the same question. "Why can't you see me tonight?" He simply smiled and said, "I've got something important to take care of. I'll see you tomorrow." No panic, no justification, no desperate attempt to soothe her emotions. And do you know what happened? At first she pouted, maybe even felt annoyed. But deep down she felt something else too, respect. Why? Because mystery is magnetic, and confidence, real confidence, never explains itself. Now I want you to pause and think about your own love life. Was there ever a time when you gave too many details, hoping to reassure her, hoping she wouldn't get upset? Did it actually make things better, or did it just make you feel smaller? Here's the lesson. When you stop explaining yourself, you show her that you are a man who doesn't need approval. You live by your choices. You trust your decisions, and you're not afraid of whether she agrees or not. Does that mean you should be cold or dismissive? No, it means your words should be simple, clear, and confident. "I can't tonight. I'm busy right now. I'll call you later." That's it. Nothing more. It may feel cruel to keep things short. It may feel like you're risking her love by not giving her every little detail. But the paradox is this. The less you explain, the more she wonders about you. And the more she wonders, the more she's drawn in. So remember this. Explanations are for men seeking approval. Silence and certainty. That's for men who already have it. Number 4, being willing to walk away. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. Have you ever held on to someone so tightly, even when deep down, you knew they were slipping away? Maybe she stopped calling like she used to. Maybe her texts grew shorter, colder. Maybe she even started treating you like an option, not a priority. And yet instead of walking away, you clung tighter. You thought, if I just love her more, if I just prove I care, maybe she'll stay. But let me ask you honestly, did it work? Or did it push her further away? Here's the truth. One of the most powerful, magnetic things a man can ever do is show he's not afraid to walk away. I'll tell you a story. There was a man I knew, let's call him Daniel. He was head over heels for this girl. She was gorgeous, playful, but also full of games. She'd flirt with other guys right in front of him, cancel their plans, and sometimes ignore him for days. Now Daniel thought if he just stayed patient, if he just proved he was loyal, she'd eventually realize how much he loved her. But instead, the opposite happened. The more he tolerated, the less she respected him. Until one day, Daniel did something different. She canceled their dinner for the third time in a row. And instead of begging or forgiving, he simply said, "Listen, I like you, but I'm not going to keep investing in someone who doesn't respect my time. If this continues, I'm done." She laughed, thinking he was bluffing. But then he followed through. He walked away, and guess what happened? Within a week, she was the one blowing up his phone. She was the one asking for another chance. Why? Because she realized he wasn't afraid to lose her, and that shook her. See, women are drawn to strength, and strength isn't in muscles or money, it's in your willingness to let go of what doesn't serve you. Now think about your own love story. Was there a time you ignored the red flags because you were afraid of losing her? Did you tell yourself, "She'll change if I just love her enough"? Be honest, did that bring her closer or did it only drain you? Here's the paradox. The moment you're ready to walk away, that's the moment you gain power. Because now you're not chasing, you're not desperate. You're showing her and yourself that your value doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. And that is irresistible. So remember this. Being willing to walk away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough not to settle for less than respect. And ironically, the very moment you show her you don't need her is often the moment she realizes she can't afford to lose you. Number 5, prioritizing your mission over her. Let me ask you a question that cuts straight to the heart. Have you ever lost yourself in a relationship? I'm talking about the kind of love where, without even realizing it, you start putting her above everything, your work, your goals, your friends, even your health. At first it feels romantic, right? You tell yourself, this is love. She deserves all of me. But over time, didn't it feel like the more you gave up for her, the less she respected you? See, here's the paradox most men don't understand. Women don't fall in love with a man who makes her his mission. They fall in love with a man who has a mission bigger than her and invites her to be part of it. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Ryan, a talented musician. Before he met his girlfriend, his entire life was about his music. He'd spend hours writing, practicing, performing. That passion made him magnetic. It gave him a fire in his eyes. But when he fell in love, he slowly started putting her above everything. He skipped rehearsals to take her out. He stopped writing so he could spend more time texting. He thought she'd admire his devotion, but instead, she started pulling away. She told him, "You're different now." I miss the man who was chasing his dream. At first, Ryan was crushed, but eventually, he realized something powerful. She wasn't losing interest because he didn't give her enough. She was losing interest because he gave her too much. The very thing that had attracted her, his passion, his mission was the thing he abandoned. So Ryan went back to his music, not out of spite, but because it was who he truly was. And you know what happened? She came back, this time chasing him because she saw that fire in him again. Now think about your own story. Has there ever been a time when you dropped your dreams just to keep her happy? Maybe you skipped the gym, ignored your work, or stopped chasing a passion you once loved. Did it bring her closer, or did it slowly dim the light in her eyes when she looked at you? Here's the hard truth. A woman doesn't want to be your mission. She wants to join a man who already has one. She wants to feel like she's part of something greater than just romantic dinners and late-night texts. It may feel cruel to sometimes put your goals first. It may feel like you're neglecting her when you choose to work late, to study, to grind for your dream. But here's the secret. When she sees that you're driven, that you have a purpose, she doesn't feel neglected. She feels inspired. And that inspiration, that's what makes her want to stand by your side, not in front of your path. So never apologize for prioritizing your mission, because when you chase your purpose first, women don't run away, they run toward you. So here's the truth. Love isn't about giving everything away. It's not about chasing, begging, or losing yourself just to keep someone close. Real attraction is born when you respect yourself first, when you protect your attention, set your boundaries, stand firm in your choices, stay unafraid to walk away, and keep your mission alive. These 5 things may feel cruel in the moment, but in reality they are acts of strength, and strength is what women find irresistible. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you living as the man who needs constant approval, or as the man who moves forward with purpose, whether she follows or not? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.